Hey guys, today we're here in Munich, Germany, and we're checking out this, the Huawei Watch GT 2. Now this is the second watch from Huawei that uses its own OS called Light OS, and this basically is an OS that is designed to focus specifically on battery life and Bluetooth capabilities, because a lot of Wear OS smartwatches have really bad battery life, and if you're going to use a smartwatch, you really want it to be very battery focused. Now there are two versions of this watch. There's a 42mm version and a 46mm version. And Huawei actually says that you can expect about 1 week of battery life from the 42mm version, while the 46mm version is gonna get you about 2 weeks of battery life, which is quite a lot more if you're willing to opt for the bigger watch. Probably a pretty big change in this watch is that the Huawei Watch GT 2 is the first watch to use the new Kiran A1 chip. And this is a processor that's specifically tailored towards Huawei's wearables. We just saw it get put in the new Huawei FreeBuds that got announced at IFA, but basically this chip is also designed to focus on battery life and Bluetooth connectivity. So it's really nice to have that chip paired with this OS to make it focus really hardcore on really good battery life. It makes sense that you'd want to really optimize for battery life in this watch, because this is really like an outdoorish watch. It's for people that are pretty active and have an active lifestyle. There's a lot of different types of tracking here. So you've got constant heart rate tracking, you've got built-in GPS, you've got running tracking and cycling tracking and swimming tracking. It's pretty much an all-around fitness watch that looks like a really casual watch. And honestly, this watch looks really great. It's got this really nice leather band that apparently is genuine leather. It doesn't quite feel like that, but I'm assuming that it'll wear in over time. And you've also got the silicone band that you can wear if you don't want to get your sweat all over that leather. It's also using this big bright Amoled display, which is very punchy and should also help with battery life because it only has to turn on the pixels that it's actually using. Now, probably most surprisingly, this watch also has speakers and a microphone. So technically, you could play music out of this watch, you could take calls with this watch. And for taking calls, you obviously have to have the watch attached to your phone. But if you just want to listen to music while you're on a run or something, you can actually connect it directly to some Bluetooth headphones. Now you can listen to music directly out of the watch, and the speakers actually sound pretty decent. I was really surprised with how good they sound. It's kind of like a pretty low-end smartphone. It's definitely not going to be a high-end smartphone level of sound, but for a smartwatch, it sounds pretty good. And if you want to get really techie, the smaller version of this watch has 16 megabytes of RAM, while the bigger version has 32 megabytes of RAM. That's a really small amount of RAM, and I did see a little bit of lag while I was actually setting up the watch and also scrolling through the menus. But in general use, when just going through the actual settings and using the trackers and stuff like that, I honestly didn't really see any lag. So it's surprising that Light OS is able to operate with such a little amount of RAM. Also, you've got 4 gigabytes of internal storage on both of these watches, so if you want to load up your own music to go for a run and listen to your music without your phone, you can do that too. And we still don't really know how much this thing will cost, but it will probably cost around the same amount as it did last year. And we also don't know when it will launch, but I'm sure that's going to be unveiled right here at this event after this video is created. So make sure you go over to androidauthority.com. We've got all the information about this watch and where you can buy it and how much it will cost over there. Also make sure that you stay tuned to the website and our YouTube channel, because this is the same event that Huawei is dropping the Mate 30 series. And that's going to be a really exciting smartphone, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Until the next video, I will catch you later.